What if moving to Sherman Oaks meant stepping into a brand new lifestyle where modern luxury meets thoughtful design? In today's Sherman Oaks Home Tour, we're showcasing a stunning, fully remodeled home for sale in the heart of this highly sought after neighborhood. This incredible 4 bedroom, 4.5 bathroom residence has been rebuilt from the studs up, featuring over 2,500 square feet of open concept living space, soaring ceilings, designer finishes, and a sparkling pool that defines California living. If you've been searching for a move in ready Sherman Oaks home for sale, or you're curious about what makes Sherman Oaks one of the most desirable places to live in Los Angeles, you won't want to miss this tour. Let's go check it out. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. All right, so today's home tour takes us to the city of Sherman Oaks. That's where we're located today. And the home that's right behind me, we're going to showcase today, 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, almost 2,600 square feet of living space on a 6,735 square foot lot built in 1950. I promise you, there was nothing built in 1950 that looks like this. So this house been totally remodeled, totally transformed. We're going to show it all to you. And there's some really cool features inside of this home. And especially if you might be looking for something a little different when it comes to how your floor plan is arranged, especially maybe you have an in-law or a teenager, this floor plan might work for you. All right, so again, we're in Sherman Oaks, California. We're in the south part of the San Fernando Valley. We're north of Chandler Boulevard. This is a beautiful tree-lined street. And let's turn around and start with the exterior. All right, so this is the house right now. So again, we're coming in from across the street. Your detached garage is going to be over to the left. But because they have, right, this wall, and look how they were able to fence it off, and you actually have that ambient lighting that comes on during the nighttime hours, you have all this privacy. And look, remember I was telling you, look at how beautiful the landscaping, the pride of ownership in this neighborhood, all the tall trees, like giving you all that shade that really keeps out a lot of the strong sun. As for this house, as the sun passes from east to west right here, it would be right in the front of the house. So again, all this privacy from the exterior. And let's move over here and let's actually start facing the house. Welcome inside this 4 bedroom, 4.5 bathroom beauty. That's 2,575 square feet of living space on a 6,735 square foot lot built in 1950. Now, obviously, you didn't have 2,500, 2,600 square foot homes in this neighborhood back in the day, but this home has been completely transformed, completely remodeled, and we're going to show everything to you. All right, so let's start by the entry. Now, off the entry, you're going to have this large, great room. Now, what stands out to me, obviously you have this large open space, but look at all the canned lighting that you have here. So much recessed lighting just for starters. And then look how high the ceilings are right in this room. Extremely high. So really gives you that sense of openness that you're going after, that the seller is really going after. You do have your living room right here. There's no fireplace, but I would argue here in 2025, most buyers and most people that are homeowners these days don't even use their fireplace here in Southern California. So a lot of people don't even want one. It's more hassle than it's worth. A lot of times you end up with inspection issues on older homes, right? Whether it be, cracking in the masonry, right? Things like that, or damage to the flue. All right, so this is your formal dining space. You could easily put in a larger table. Now, if it was me, right, you could probably go with a table about this size. And then if you needed something bigger, right, you could have the inserts in there to be able to extend it out. But this is a pretty big space. Take a look at the dual pane windows. You can notice that throughout. And then as we turn over here, take a look at your kitchen. So this is the focal point of this entire room, is this waterfall right edge island. Look how large this island is. Now, I like the black with the white veins. I think I like it for a few reasons. One, it gives it a lot of character. And as a result of having this, right, if you're gonna have this type of color here, you really need a light flooring such as this. I think that's really going to be important, because otherwise, if you have something dark, it's not gonna look right, right? And as a result of that, you know, now when you look at it, it's just gonna look strange and awkward when people come into this room. So I like this color a lot. Now, what they did here as a result of that, as a result of having that black countertop, that quartz countertop on your island counter, look here, on the cross away from it, they have cabinetry that's all custom built, but it has a darker brown to it than the flooring. But to be able to give some color to it, right, they're able to give the black handles, as well as look at the gold right there. So they're able to kind of mix and match. And then they're able to go two-tone, right? So over here, you have your black and white countertop. And then on the countertop on the other side here in this kitchen, you have white with just some small gray veins. You don't want to have it completely white. You want to have just a little something in there. And then of course, right here, you have your chevron light tile right here that complements everything, right? Again, you don't need a lot of color in this because you don't have a lot of color in right here, this portion of your quartz countertop. You have your stainless steel hood right here, as well as a 6-burner right there, range, and your microwave. And then look at all of the cabinetry over here. And then over to your right, look at the size of this stainless steel refrigerator. I'm gonna open it up right here for you just to give you a better vantage point of that. And they even left a few bottles of water in there for us. Now, in addition, you might be able to see underneath here, there's more cabinetry and storage. A lot of times people don't leave space for extra cabinetry and storage. And I think the reason why that's so incredibly important to me is that, especially if you're gonna have an island this big, right? And look, this is a pretty good sized room. I'll step back so you can see that again. But yet at the same time, you don't wanna clutter it up with a lot of furniture. So the more cabinetry that you have to be able to store things, I think really helps out a lot to be able to ensure that this really feels like an open space and not so much like a cluttered space. So one last thing, take a look at the lighting that they have hanging down below here. Again, I think you need something simple. You don't want something that's going to be too big and that's really going to stand out, right, to take away from the countertop that you have here in this kitchen on your island. Let me know what you think of this great room so far. Hey, Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. Hey, as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch another one of our home tours. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe to our channels. We're dropping new home tours every week and giving you some deep market insights. What's going on in the Los Angeles real estate market right now? Not what the media is saying, 30, 60, 90 days that's taking place, but where the trends are. Are we still in a buyer's market? Are we kind of working our way out of it? You might actually be somewhat pleasantly surprised about that. All right, hey, if you're looking to buy a home here in Southern California, and you probably heard me say this many times, the representation that you have is really critical, right? You need an agent that's going to be able to communicate with the other agent, to work for you on your behalf, not just negotiate, right, just price, but in today's world, there's still a lot of homes with multiple offers. We're seeing that on our own listings right now. So you really have to have an agent that really knows how to write the offer and communicate with the other agent, just for starters, right? And so that's one of the things that I really like to do is when we really, because there's a lot of people like yourself that reach out to us from here on YouTube, and we really like to be able to get to know you. I really want to be able to know what your story is. So Maybe you're looking, right, you're a first-time home buyer. A lot of our buyers right now are relocating from out of state here to Southern California, and we have a plan for that, right? And a lot of times we'll be actually meeting with our buyers the first time on Zoom and kind of being able to learn about them and kind of walk them through the process. So when it comes time to actually start writing offers and looking at houses, a lot of things that normally might just be questions that come up for the first time, we've already covered and you're already an expert. All right, let's get back to the home tour. All right, so let's start taking a look at the bedrooms. So like we said earlier, you have 4 bedrooms and 4.5 bathrooms. Each bedroom is going to have its own private bathroom. Now here, right, this is going to be the half bathroom right here. And take a look at the tile work that goes all the way from the ground to the ceiling. And then you have this custom black vanity. And this is your half bathroom right off the entryway. And this is what everyone's going to be using when it comes to that large great room that we saw. You got a coat closet right here. And then over to your right, this is going to be bedroom number 1. So again, very smart. They put in tons of recessed lighting. You have access to your backyard. It's one of 2 bedrooms that does have access to the backyard. And then let's come over here and take a look at this area right here. So if it was me, right, this is where I would probably put in some built-ins, because this essentially would kind of be like your walk-in closet as you enter into this bathroom. Now I wanted to show you this in particular because you're seeing this a lot right now on remodeled homes, and that is you're seeing designer tile right now really making a comeback. Very similar to designer wallpaper making a comeback also. But look what they did here, right? Because you have the black and pretty much everything goes with black. So they have this brownish gray color for the cabinetry on the vanity, right? And because you have that silver in the flooring itself, in the tile, so it doesn't make sense to go with gold. But since right here you have the gold, right, handle into your shower enclosure, you have the hand sprayer, you have the rain head, shower head right here, all of that. And then in addition, the tile work itself, the designer tile, does have a lot of gray, some darker gray, almost black. So they kind of continue that theme onto the countertop of the vanity. And then this allows them to be able to actually be able to utilize that gold color right on your faucets and handles right here on top of your vanity. And of course you have dual mirrors as well. Hey there. All right, so this is the space what I was showing to you beforehand, where I think that, most people are probably just going to be able to use this as the closet. You probably call someone like Closet World, and we have a bunch of contractors like that. So if you need a name for that, feel free to reach out to us if that's something that you actually needed. All right, so that's your first bedroom right there. So then you go further down this hallway, and this is a pretty long hallway. And then the second bedroom is going to be over to your left. Now, once again, you're going to have your own private bath in this one. This one does have a pretty good size walk-in closet right here. You would have to add the built-ins yourself. But this one actually has something a little unique. Now, the last bedroom that we're going to show you is actually located upstairs. It's the only bedroom located upstairs. So this is underneath the staircase that takes you to that 4th bedroom. And so you have an extra bit of a storage also. So maybe, you want to use this room as a den or an office, a playroom area, right? Just to kind of have an additional setup, right? If you don't need all 4 bedrooms as bedrooms themselves. So once again, they go with a different designer tile, right? We saw the black in the first bathroom, the first bedroom. They have the floating vanity right here. With the walnut wood accent right here on the front, you have it all white, which is smart because look how much gray. They utilize the gray right here in the shower enclosure and then took it out and made it the rest of the walls here in this bathroom. And then you have the hexagonal tiles in the shower closure itself, the black hand sprayer, and once again, we see the rain head shower head. All right, now let's come over and take a look what else we have down here on this level. You have access to the backyard. We'll show you that later in the video. This is where your laundry hookups are going to be. Now, I'm glad they didn't put it on the second level because you only have one bedroom on that level. All right, now here, this is the third and final bedroom downstairs. They utilize the same tile right here in the bathroom that's attached. So it's going to look pretty much identical to the last bathroom that we showed you. Again, the rain head shower head, you have your hand sprayer, the vanity looks exactly the same. And again, you do have access to the backyard, and this is your walk-in closet. This one is a little bit smaller than the previous one that we just looked at. All right, let's go upstairs. We're gonna make our way up to the fourth and final bedroom. And as we go up the stairs, this house, brand new everything, roof, electrical, plumbing, flooring, the kitchen, the bathrooms, basically nothing was really overlooked. Look at the nice custom doors that we've seen throughout this entire house. So this is the fourth and final bedroom. This one is located upstairs. Now you could use this as your primary, or you could use one of the bedrooms downstairs. You know, hey, maybe you have a teenager, right? Someone who's older, or maybe you want to utilize this one, and maybe you have an in-law, right? Or a parent that needs to have a bedroom and bathroom downstairs. So maybe you give the larger bedroom downstairs to them. This is inside the closet of this upstairs bedroom. And again, if it was me, you're going to put in some custom built-ins in here. And then your bathroom here, a very simple, but very elegant at the same time, right? So you have a more whitish tile, right? With some hints of gray, right? And that makes sense that the quartz countertop on the vanity does have some gray veins, dual sinks, dual mirrors in this vanity. You have the darker colored cabinetry on the vanity itself. And then I like how they're able to contrast, right, these silver handles right here with the black handles on the faucet right there, as well as the drain stopper. You have a soaking tub, which you can never go wrong with. And then over here, your shower enclosure on this one has the custom tile on the bottom and the hand sprayer and the rain shower head on top. So let me know what you think of these 4 bedrooms and this floor plan, right? It's a unique floor plan. Not everybody, I think, is gonna like this floor plan, I think for sure, but I think for the right buyer, you know, again, if you have a teenager or you have in-laws, I think this floor plan is probably going to be very suitable for somebody like that. All right, let's go out to the backyard. All right, so we're in the backyard. Backyard, again, 6,735 square feet. So I do want to say that we're here in the early morning hours today. So I think in a couple hours, you're going to see the sun as the sun goes across from east to west. You're going to see a lot more sunlight in this backyard. Tons of privacy back here, right? With the trees and the large wooden fence, right? You got the artificial grass right here that goes all the way around the pool decking. And then you do have a detached garage. Here, you can see your tankless water heater right there. And again, you can see the shingle roof. All of that is brand new. And this is a pretty good size pool for sure. Now, I want to take you around here, right? Because this is where, you know, your barbecue area, you have the large concrete pieces intertwined with the artificial grass. And then you have the white rock over here on the side. But it looked like, you know, that kind of wraps around. So it is, because you have that large fencing around it in the front, it kind of wraps around. So it kind of is like essentially like your own little mini compound, and there's tons of privacy. And you know, they put in the modern light fixtures on the exterior throughout the entire home. So let me know what you think of this backyard. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. Once again, your trusted Los Angeles real estate agent. And again, we're fortunate enough to have over 250 5-star reviews online. So check us out there. And we're very grateful to be able to serve this community for over 20 years. And it's something that I really enjoy doing. So, hey, if you're looking to sell a home here in Southern California, you might be asking, well, Scott, like, what does it take to sell a home? So we have several different videos in our library talking about what it takes to sell a home, the mistake that you really need to be avoiding here right now in today's shifting market. Number one, but number two, one of the things that we like to do for all of our homes, you can see that this home is staged itself. We pay for complimentary staging on all of our homes, and it really does make a difference. Especially you don't want to be looking at, if you're a buyer, at really stale homes. You want the buyer to be able to envision their lifestyle in your home. And a lot of times it's hard to do with your own furniture. So we can help you remove furniture, move furniture around. I don't want my sellers picking up and moving pieces upstairs, downstairs. That's something that we do for you complimentary. And it really has made a big difference for our sellers over the years. And if you need to make repairs, we also have our Concierge Plus program where you can make repairs and remodel the home at no cost up front. Everything gets paid through the close of escrow, and there's no upcharge for it. It's whatever you negotiate with the contractor. All right, any question about those, feel free to reach out. Hope you enjoyed this home tour. Again, I'm Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group, and we'll see you on the next home tour.